Hey, hey, hey. How y'all doing? This is Coach Carvel Bailey, and I want to welcome you to a special episode of Life and Basketball. And so on this show, if this is your first time, I want to welcome you to the show. And what we do on this show is we talk about how life as well as the game of basketball are synergistic and they have so much in common. And also, so we interview basketball players, coaches, former coaches, officials, former officials, as well as those individuals that have been very um, helpful in the game of basketball. And we let them tell their stories of how a little orange ball has helped shape and oftentimes save their lives. So today, we're just going to do a portion of the show. The show is being brought to you by Bless the Ball Skill Development Academy, as well as Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball and Creating the Perfect Storm. All right. Both of my books right here. If you don't have them, you definitely want to go pick up a copy. All right. So again, I welcome you guys to the show. And today we're just gonna talk about some NBA things, first of all. All right, talk about some NBA things. And first and foremost, I would like to take a moment of silence, take my hat off for my college coach. Passed away today, Coach Jimmy Collins. So we can just please have a moment of silence for Coach C. All right. Now, let's get into it. I got my little music in the back, just a little bit. So real quick, life and basketball. So we're not gonna have a guest today. All right. Feel free to comment in the chat. So I just want to talk about a few things. All right. We're gonna talk about some NBA. So I want to talk about. I got 4 topics tonight, and we're gonna be done real easy, real quick. So I want to talk about Patrick Williams with Chicago Bulls. I want to talk about John Wall. I want to talk about Russell Westbrook. I want to talk about LaMelo Ball, and wrapping it up, we're going to talk about Dame Lillard, right? And so I don't normally talk about NBA basketball. I don't really talk about basketball, but I want this to relate to those high school and college athletes that are still looking to be recruited on whatever next level they're going to. Okay. So first and foremost, Patrick Williams, right? The Bulls drafted him, I believe, number 3 out of Florida State. Everybody clown this guy, right? Oh, he's a florist, right? He's a florist. He picks flowers, right? What does he know about basketball? Well, his mom is a florist and she's taught him the family business, but he plays basketball and he's pretty good. He wouldn't have made it to the NBA. But now that he's shown what he can do, everybody like, oh, that guy can play. And so the point that I want to make is this: to all my young athletes out there that people say that you can't be successful, that you can't make it, for everybody to say, oh, he doesn't have what it takes, she doesn't have what it takes, they're not ranked. Don't worry about none of that. You just keep working on what you're working on. And if you keep working on what you're working on, you'll get better slowly but surely each and every day. And then as you get better and people start to see, and they're going to be like, ooh, oh, they can play. Because that's exactly what they're doing right now to Patrick Williams. That's exactly what they're doing. They're like, oh, this guy can play. But 3.5 weeks ago, he was a florist, right? So people going to talk about you regardless until you show them what you can do. So to my young athletes out there, don't worry about the negative things that the people are saying, because most people that have something negative to say about you, at least they know you exist. All right, I'm going to say that again. The people that got something negative to say about you, at least they know you exist. Now it's your job to be ready and to be prepared for when you get that opportunity. And so Patrick Williams has shown that, right? laugh at him, floors. But what he's also shown is that he's just not an average basketball player. He can do other things. He can use his mind to think other ways to become a better individual and a more marketable athlete. That's what a lot of athletes should understand, right? Is what are you doing to become marketable so that you can become that athlete that scouts want. All right, so that's number one. All right, number two, John Wall. John Wall is with the Houston Rockets now, and if you saw the game the other night, you might have the same question that I have. What's going to happen when James Harden come back? Houston didn't look bad. And I know that Boogie and John Wall can't carry a team by themselves. Still, PJ Tucker got to come back and some other things. You know, they lost a lot when Clint Capella left. But, you know, I'm not sure if John Wall and James Harden can play together. I'm not sure what they think. I mean, what y'all think? I'm not quite sure if they can play together. I mean, John Wall's a point guard, so John Wall is going to get whoever he's playing with involved. But I'm not so quite sure that James Harden can play the two and let John Wall play the one. Right? That was the issue that James kind of had with Chris Paul. Same issue James kind of had with Russ. So can James Harden accept the fact that he's going to play the two, maybe the three, and they got another point guard? And that point guard is going to set him up and get him the ball and let him do what he do. So now we have to see if James Harden going to evolve and not necessarily pound the ball so much, but is he's going to evolve his game and be able to create and get his shot off the ball. Otherwise, I'm not sure if it's going to work in Houston with both of them. I see Houston willing to get rid of James Harden in lieu of John Wall for the future. Right? And I didn't see the whole game, but I see them having John Wall as the future of Houston Rockets. I mean, y'all, let me know in the chat what you think, but that's what I think. So my point is, right, John Wall has missed a season and a half going back. Let's make it practical for my young athletes that's watching, or parents of my young athletes watching. John Wall still had to get himself mentally in position to still understand what he needs to do to be successful in the game of basketball. Right? John Wall has needed to keep himself mentally intact as well as physically intact. But when he was hurt, wasn't a lot he can do physically. So he had to keep himself mentally intact so he can keep his rhythm. How many athletes can watch a game or do basketball activities in their mind to help their rhythm? Right? That's what we're trying to figure out. That's what we're trying to figure out for the young athletes, right? Can you still stay in rhythm without just being on the court? Because that's what John Wall did. And he's shown himself to be, looks like, in better rhythm than before he left. All right. So number one, Pat Williams. All right. Show and prove. Number one, show and prove. We're going to have 5 points tonight. Number one, show and prove. Right. Number two, with John Wall, keep your rhythm. Right? Keep your rhythm. And more so, mentally. Keep your rhythm mentally. Third thing, let's go out to Washington. So now, John Wall goes to Houston. Russell Westbrook goes to Washington. Immediately, the reports on Russell Westbrook is his energy is unmatched. His energy is unmatched. When they asked Russell Westbrook, how do you feel about the trade? He said, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy where I'm at. Which means to my athletes, one, as athletes, coaches, parents, be happy where you are, right? Even though you may want to go other places, be currently happy where you are. Russell Westbrook understands that he still is an NBA basketball player. He understands that he's still one of the best NBA point guards, right? Point guards in the NBA. Russell Westbrook understands that he's still blessed and in a better situation than a lot of other people that are in the NBA or looking to get to the NBA. So he said, I love where I'm at. Right. And the fact now he's in Washington, right? Like DC, where like historically it's been like this is unprecedented. And you know, Russ does a lot of things within the community. Now let's think how much more valuable can you be? How much more valuable can you be? What is it about you that makes scouts, recruits, teams want you? Russ has that energy, and he gonna bring that energy. Coach, what up, coach? Russ gonna bring that energy. So to my athletes, what energy are you bringing despite where you are? Are you complaining? You know, are you getting mad at the coach? What are you doing? What type of energy are you bringing? Not only to help you, to help where you at, but also now to help those individuals in which you're around. So the first thing that Russ is doing, he's building rapport with his teammates. But how is he building rapport? Through positive energy. I want my athletes to understand that, right? You have to have some positive energy. And if you have that positive energy, guess what happens? It becomes contagious. That positive energy becomes contagious, right? So show and prove, that's number one. Patrick Williams has shown that with the Bulls. Number two, keep your rhythm mentally, right? Stay focused, stay locked in mentally. John Wall has shown us that. The third thing, have positive energy. Positive energy, and Russell Westbrook has showed us that. He's not pouting. He got positive energy. Brings us to my fourth point for my student athletes. Oh, before I forget, don't forget to register. Don't forget to register if you haven't, right? And coaches, if you're watching this, parents, if you're watching this, get your student athletes registered for our Student Athlete Leadership Conference, December 21st and 22nd. All right, our Student Athlete Leadership Conference, December 21st and 22nd. You definitely want to get your athletes registered for the leadership conference. All right, I'm gonna drop it down in the chat because regardless how an athlete can play, who are they? Why does a coach want them on the team? Right? And if you don't think that that's important, what type of person you are, just walk down the hallway of any school and I bet you'll find one of the best players in the school not on the team because they never learned how to become that person that was needed for the team. So get your athletes registered for our Student Athlete Leadership Conference. All right, December 21st and 22nd. All right, 4 to 8 p.m. December 21st, 22nd. Kids will be on Christmas break. All right, get them a gift that's going to last a lifetime and probably more generations down that they can pass down this information. All right. Number four, point number four, and then we're going to get out of here. LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball. What LaMelo Ball has shown us in the past 4 years is incredible, right? LaMelo Ball has shown us hungry freshman in high school. He was hungry, but playing on varsity as a freshman. He showed us an arrogant sophomore, very arrogant sophomore. He showed us a kind of out of touch junior, right? I think as junior, he was kind of out of touch with reality because of all of the other things that was going on with the brand and everything. So he really wasn't an average high schooler. So he was kind of out of touch, which is why he left, right, and went overseas. But then we saw the evolution, right? And we've seen now a more mature LaMelo Ball. I think we've seen a smarter LaMelo Ball. But more importantly, we've also seen a more confident LaMelo Ball. But I saw LaMelo Ball yesterday, and this is what I want my athletes to understand. If you put in the work, they'll find you. Too many athletes that do put in the work, but because they may live in a small town, right, their team may not be that great. They aren't a 5-star recruit. And a lot of athletes out here can play, but a lot of athletes out here have imposter syndrome. Right? So a lot of athletes out here that can't play. But the ones that can play, some of them have imposter syndrome, meaning that they don't think that they belong. LaMelo Ball has totally blew up that imposter syndrome, and he's shown that he's belong. Right? He's shown that he belongs, and he plays for, to me, the greatest basketball player ever. Right? That's his owner. So imagine where his confidence is going to be. So to my young athletes again, right? LaMelo Ball evolved, but in that evolution, his confidence grew. He needed to have some of those setbacks. He needed to have, some of those people talking about him, some of those things, to happen with his family and all those things. Yes, sir. I don't know where your block's at. Tristan always making an appearance. But LaMelo Ball needed to have all those things happen, right? So LaMelo Ball has been able to deal with adversity, right? People clowning your dad, people clowning your brothers, right? And through all that, he just kept going, kept improving. He kept improving. He kept improving. And throughout all that, his confidence has just, you can see it. He understands that he belongs. So to my young athletes out there, my student athletes out there, I want you to understand that adversity is part of the process. And if you can accept and if you can endure the adversity, what's on the other side of that is what you've been waiting on. See, too many athletes, they face adversity and then they want to quit, right? Parents, you got to let your athletes deal with adversity, right? They face adversity, now they go to the transfer portal. Face adversity, they go play for another team, right? They face adversity, now they talk about the coaches. Deal with it. Go through it. LaMelo Ball went through it all, but guess what? I think he's going to be Rookie of the Year, hands down. Right, and through all that adversity, guess what? He learned what not to do. So when we talk about confidence, to my young athletes, point number 4, you can learn from everything. And LaMelo Ball has learned from everything. The good and the bad. Sometimes our athletes see things as bad and they only see it as bad. They don't step away from it and say, what can I learn from it? Adversity, deal with it, go through it. It's going to make you better. It's going to make your student athlete better. So allow them to go through it. So that's point number 4. All right. Learn from everything, good and bad. Point number 5 takes us out west to Portland. My man, Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard said that his respect for Carmelo Anthony grew 200% when Carmelo Anthony got to Portland. Now, as the face of a team, right? I want to talk to my 5-star athletes for a second. Parents of my 5-star athletes, even 4-star athletes. So even those people that, the street agents pump you up. I want you to listen to this. Who can you learn from? Right? Remember I said you can learn LaMelo Ball good and bad. But Dame accepted somebody that's been somewhere that he hasn't been. So to my 4-star, 5-star athletes, right? Who are you putting yourself around? Not just to be around them because, they can play too, but who are you being around and who are you learning from? Right? Who are you really taking time that's close to you and really, really sitting, really, really learning, understanding some of the tricks, some of the trades, some of the gimmicks, some of the shortcuts to get where you want to go. Now, you saw what Portland did in the playoffs in the bubble, and now they got a whole year of a fresh team. And the face of their program, the face of their organization, the face of that team is sitting next to someone that he admired and studied when he grew up And now that he's a franchise player, he's shoulder to shoulder with that same person, learning what he's never been taught. So you take now his knowledge mixed with his game and his passion, Portland gonna be tough. So what can we learn from Dame Lillard? Seek assistance, right? Seek assistance. What can we learn from Dame Lillard? Seek assistance. And sometimes that assistance doesn't always come in the form in which we want it to. That assistance may be from a teacher, maybe from a parent, maybe from an assistant coach, maybe from a private coach, it may be from a tutor, it may be from a friend, a teammate. But it may not always be who we want it to come from. So you have to look at what you want in life outside of basketball and see who can help you get there the fastest with basketball. I'm going to say that again. You got to figure out what you want to do outside of basketball because the ball will eventually stop bouncing. So figure out what you want to do outside of basketball and connect yourself with somebody that can help you do it within the game of basketball. Because those same relationships that you build with the game of basketball will then help you once you're done playing basketball. And that may seem like a long way to the high school and some of the college athletes, but as you get to that junior and senior year, life really starts to hit you. Even to my pro players, life will hit you after a while. So I'm like, man, I only got a couple more years. So what have you used that basketball to help you learn during the time in which you was playing? What have you used that basketball to help you learn outside of basketball since you've been playing? You got to use basketball or basketball going to use you. And the people in the basketball field, the community, some of them will forget you, my young athletes, once that ball stops bouncing. I mean, let's just be honest and let's just be real, right? And hey, if you register and are one of the attendees in our Student Athlete Leadership Conference, you're going to get all this plus more, and we're going to break all this down. And you'll leave from the conference understanding kind of a plan that you need to have put in place, not only for this year, but after you get done, right? So again, if you haven't registered for the Student Athlete Leadership Conference, December 21st to 22nd, all right, early bird registration, I believe, ends tomorrow. Matter of fact, on the 14th, early bird registration ends tomorrow, right? $97. You know, you're going to spend that on food, on DoorDash, right? Whatever. So, you know, can't tell you what to do with your money, but if you want to invest in your kids, you know, your athletes outside of just dribbling, right? What can they get here that can help them with this? Then, you know, registration is open. Again, tomorrow, early bird registration ends, and then the regular price goes up to $147, right? So you can save $50 between tonight and tomorrow and get registered. It's all virtual, right? I mean, people are playing and doing things right now in person anyway, but it's all virtual, right? You get 8 hours of conferences, 8 hours of leadership development. You know, each student within each registrant gets a personal assessment, right, to find out what their strengths are, what their superpowers are. We break all that down so they will know exactly what they bring to the team, not only what they bring to the team, but what they bring to any environment that they're in. So, you know, they get that, as well as each attendee will get a copy of Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. They'll get the ebook. Now, you do know that we sell both of these as a bundle, right? We sell both of these as a bundle in our Performance Builder bundle, right? So you get both of these in the bundle, as well as the first 2 seasons of the show here, right? This is actually our last show. This is our last show for season 4, right? And I didn't want to stop it on 45, right? So I wanted to do one extra on 46. So it brings us here tonight. Season 5 will come at you on Tuesday. We'll be back on Tuesday for season 5, but you know that you can get the books in the bundle. But each attendee gets a copy of Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball, the ebook, and we also have some VIP things for the parents as well. So again, you can register at bit.ly B2BSD conference, right? bit.ly /B2BSD conference. So get them registered for our leadership conference. And, it's about that time. We are here to serve and help you all. Don't forget, go and subscribe to our newsletter. Go and Josiah, what's happening? What's happening? Go subscribe to our newsletter so that you can get information, that we may not necessarily share on the show, right? But our email group will get the information first, right? Special clips of the show, because starting season 5, when the show is over, we're not going to keep it up for too long. What's good, Josiah? What's happening? What city and state you checking in from? Josiah, what city and state you checking in from? Again, y'all, get registered for the leadership conference. I got DJ Vince Adams in the back, right? So I don't own the rights to this music, right? Swag and Surf, all right? But again, go get registered for the conference. If you haven't got registered for the conference, December 21st, 22nd, December 21st and 22nd, Student Athlete Leadership Conference. It's time that athletes get more than just skill development. It's time that athletes get full development of their whole being and their whole self. All right. So we'll see y'all back Tuesday. 6:30, Life and Basketball. All right. Go and get your bundle too. All right. We here. All right. So, okay, from the shot. There you go. So listen, y'all go get registered. And we'll see y'all Tuesday. All right. Again, as I always say in closing, keep striving for the top. Always strive for the top, because it's crowded as hell. It's crowded as hell at the bottom. Keep striving for the top, my people. To Tuesday, I see y'all. Sign up for the newsletter. All right, you see it at the bottom. bit.ly B2BSD. Oh no, bit.ly /Life and Basketball. All right. So go get registered for our newsletter and be able to understand what's happening on the show. And go get registered for the Student Athlete Leadership Conference. Peace, y'all. Purple by the Zone. And I know it's on. Swag. I'm Sir. Swag. I'm Sir. Swag.